Most of Power, Cypher Love, Savior, Cypher Now at MSN.com. Please send me an email. I definitely look forward to building with you and seeing what your contributions are. And let me say this in closing, based on our last bill, the last parliament, I can't tell you all of the brothers that I haven't seen and heard from in many years, and new brothers that I've met who have reached out to talk about how they want to add on. So I thank you and peace.
God, 1 second, God, for me. God, I have to say, God, time is 6 seconds. I apologize for the guy's bill. God was supposed to save that for national building. God did not follow the orders what the guy said. We're supposed to wait for that. So the guy would like to disregard what the guy said and wait. God can save on that personal email for later. I'm going to tell you like this. Nothing is happening to the school. You want to talk about it? We'll talk about it at 4 o'clock. Nothing's happening to the school about what that presentation is. All that. That's it. So peace, God. That's it. God. It's 4 o'clock. It's not 4 o'clock. God. God. I don't even know why he did it. First name on the bill is the God Imperial King.
Many presentations at Universal Parliament. There's a couple things I want to build on. I want to speak about the timeline. It's very important that I speak about this timeline because there's a lot of events that took place that led to the presentation that was presented at the last Universal Parliament. There was a bill that took place in December of 2021 that was automatically eliminated. Back in 2013, that bill was reproduced and presented to the nation again, and it was eliminated. Due to the pandemic that hit us, we had lost our venue to be able to have universal parliaments. And due to the pandemic, we had lost the venue to have universal parliaments. God, Born Black, along with Elijah Shaw and Elijah Justice, put out a call to this nation asking for $100 from God's earth and this nation. To do what? To put prefabricated buildings on a law school property. This was in September of 2021. In October 2021, we put out what the prefabricated building would look like. Similar to what the prefabricated building would look like. Come February of 2022, an SOS was put out to save a law school. Since then, structural engineers and contractors came to see what the integrity and the structure of a law school is and see if there was any danger to a law school in Mecca. The structural engineer that came to a law school in Mecca told us the foundation was good, and it was good for about approximately 5 years, but some work needed to be done at that time after that. There was one error, there was one problem with the school, and that was the back left-hand corner of the school, and immediately, Born Justice got contractors to come in to fix the back corner of the school, because they said if the city come in, they automatically shut the school down because it was dangerous if those bricks there would come down off the wall. That was done immediately. I think it was within 2 weeks, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We did it in a week.
1 week. Come August of 2022, another Zoom conference came through, and a 7-story building presentation was presented. The reason for me speaking about this is because the seed was planted when we first spoke about the prefabricated building back in September of 2021. Now all these other projects surfaced due to the presentation that was presented back then. On the Knowledge God Day of September of 2022, a universal building took place at a law school in Mecca. Approximately wisdom cipher to understand the cipher, God's earth present at that meeting. At that meeting, we presented 2 bid proposals that was given to us one by Boss Buildings, the one by Patriot Steel. And the reason why I'm speaking about this today is because God's asking more clarification on what the building consisted of. Patriot Steel said they will give us a 50 by 70 feet building to be able for us to be able to build on that property for $85,255. They gave us the terms and conditions, came with a 55-year structural warranty. It also came with the framing, laser cut, whatever color we wanted, and so forth. Why is this essential? Because at that time, we had no place to do those farms. That's one. Two, because we need to do the renovation project of the law school now. Even if we continue to move forward to building either a 7-story building, whatever story building, before that takes place, we said we need a place to be able to still have a Law Shaw's civilization class, which is on Saturday, Sudanese peace course, which is on Thursday, Earthly Impact, sewing class, which takes place on Friday. Unique now has an educational math and English tutoring course that takes place on Saturday from 12 to 3. We have AIG boxing that takes place on Sunday at the Wisdom Hour to the Power Hour. Doc Kim supposed to be bringing his Monday and Tuesday classes back to as well. We cannot have a renovation, and we talk about renovation of a law school, not just the 7-story building, the renovation of a law school. That means the whole foundation of the school has to be restructured. That means the shutting down of the law school in Mecca. That means we have no place to be able to congregate and to be able to have classes. We have agreed, and from my understanding, from the Zoom conference, the one that took place in June, and the one that took place in February, that the closing of the law school is not going to happen unless we have somewhere else place to go. I have 471 views from the last Universal Parliament. As you know, I'm going live now. 471 views. Phone calls, questions, emails came through. I'm going to speak about a couple of things, and I'm going to let the presenters be able to ask them, because I did my research. Real property law, 232, subdivision C. Need to understand what that is. That's dealing with the month-to-month lease, and how a month-to-month lease comes about. You need to understand the dangers of that section 2 as well. That's why I presented to the presenters. General obligation law, section 5-701. That's another section we need to be able to understand clearly. I noticed at the last Universal Parliament, I heard everything about what was presented, what Sid Davidoff said and everything, but know what I didn't hear one mention of? The Barry Donald 11. Don't forget, he was on the Urban League Commission and the Crisis Management Team for Mayor Lindsay. He was also a part of the planning committee that spoke in 1970 when the planning committee was trying to get us moved off a law school, off that property at 2122 Alexander Powell Boulevard. I want to read a portion of that letter. When the funding for the Street Academy ran out in the late 1960s, the city had taken over the storefront property in a tax case and decided, at the director of the mayor, to lease the property to the 5%ers for 99 years at $1 as long as they would continue to maintain the property and use it as a school and community center. This action was taken in 1969 or 1970 and was reaffirmed at a meeting of the Planning Commission several years later when developers wanted us to move off that property. Yes, Sid Davidoff might sell on the cabinet or Mayor Lindsay and everything, but we're not going to forget what Barry Garfield did and what he meant for this nation. And how he has spoken up for this nation when our property was going to be taken from us. That was not presented at that meeting, or I hear nothing presented about it at the last Universal Parliament. There's one other thing I like to speak of. I'm not against, I'm not even for the project. I want us to be able to come together, some way, somehow. I want to work with others. I want to work with God might be opposed to what we're going to do. Before I came home in 2018, I was in the interior cycle. When I was in the interior cycle, when I was in the interior cycle, I was on the ILC executive board, I was facilitating the Nation of God's Word, I was the chairman of the events committee, I ran tournaments and everything. God kept saying, all that activity that you have is very conducive and productive for you to come home and bring it to the free cycle for the Nation of God's Earth. Since I came home in May 2018, my feet have been running. Just this week alone, on the phone in South Carolina, North Carolina, California, Conference Call in California, and everything. I'm constantly building, Lord, to make sure these things get recognized all across the United States. I'm constantly shipping stuff out, proper package. Just had the city commissioner in North Carolina Department of Corrections, because this book by John R. Lee talks about the knowledge of self of the black man, 120 lessons, you want to use as a corporate book for the nation of God's earth. No, if any book should be recognized, it's the true history of Allah and His Bible, and I said that to the commissioner. I'm about being transparent. That's one thing about me. I'm about being transparent. And since September of 2021, we have collected $7,147 towards the prefabricated building project. I told y'all since September, every month I'll let everybody know where we at. This is the building project. 50 by 70 feet building. We tell the designers where we want the doors at. We'll say where we want our doors and everything at, and they will put it there in that position. The thing that we would have to do would be, we would have to handle the construction of the building, the insulation, the walling, the ceiling, the HVAC, and the plumbing. We would be responsible for that. Plan is to move forward and build the prefabricated building on the law school property. Now, this still does not take away the presentation that was brought to us by Beloved and Bilal. Because the original presentation that was brought to us in August 2022, Bilal had something similar to probably in the backyard of the property to what I'm going to present and construct as a property. So that building can still go along with Beloved and Bilal and present to us outside. So, again, in September, we presented a prefabricated building project. Then came the SOS, then came the second building. We are going to move forward in one way or another to pick the building on the law school property. Just in case another pandemic comes, anything comes, we're not able to be able to get these schools. Or anywhere else to be able to have universal parliaments, or education shown proof, or Earth Appreciation Day, or the birth of this nation. With that, I'm say finish. I think what's next?
Yeah, right.
What opportunity to address?
Yeah, Beloved, I want to talk to the God real quick.
Peace to the gods and earth, peace to the nation. Peace, knowledge, bill. I like a lot of the bill I heard today. Bilal brought up a lot about the father. And lost our building projects. And this is really a mandate that the father has. Today's great time to build, and we need to build people who are building our knowledge. And we've all come of age. We've all been in this nation for a long time. So we heard a lot of drops about different building projects. And the guy who just sitting behind me was asking, is this a different project, Ron? So I just want to be clear. And I see all of this as one project. And the only challenge right now as a nation is for us to come together as one idea. So what stabilize the existing building. That comes first. We can't let anything happen to the building that we have right now. All of us agree on that, and that work is being done. He said we brought in a structural engineer. The structural engineer did his analysis, and it's true. The foundation of the school was solid. There was one portion of the building that was leaning a little bit. That got more justice for his contractor down. That got fixed immediately. That structural engineer was finishing his work, and we're going to solidify the existing building. I did on mathematics and the Department of School. They have an idea for a prefab building. We see that as a temporary structure. It's a structure to hold, to tie us over from where we are now to where we have to be ultimately in the future. What we have to decide and agree upon is, what's our vision? The father left us a beautiful site, and the city has recognized it. The city now calls that entire site what is it?
1932.
1932. Lot 29. Lot 29, one lot, which is our lot. So the city recognizes now the entire site as our lot. So what we have to do is decide, at the end of this 99 years that the God is referring to, what do we want to be on that site? Let me describe it like this. We've heard since our presentation, the last one, a number of guards say, the guards open up a can of worms. If you bring attention to that we're on the site, something may happen. Someone may take the school. I really see that the opposite way. The city has always recognized us on the site. I'm a little more concerned leaving the site the way it is. We've had it now 55 years. The father returned 53 years ago. It's like, how long do we need? The city gave given us a great grace period. 53 years? How long do we need? For us, let me say one more thing. There's a lot of developers. What happened in 1977? All the Commonwealth was the second development group. A lot of developers would love to build on that site. But the city gave us a grace period. We don't want to maintain that site, control the site. We're the ones that need to develop the site. So I'm more concerned with us leaving the site the way it is, decade after decade after decade, 55 years now. How long do we want to leave the site? So I see the prefab building, as you described, God, a temporary holdover while the existing building is being stabilized or under construction. But holdover is what we ultimately want to do with Blau's building. Education programs, workforce development. We could do construction, training guards in construction. We could put a program in the school where you grow fresh foods, sell fresh foods, teach everyone every aspect of that. You all may know that I'm a mechanical engineer. The whole time you'll have known me across my career, 1975 into York High, 1978 into Columbia University, 1980 finished Columbia University in mechanical engineering, started in the field. And the whole time that you'll know me for other things. 1975, after I came back from the service, went up to meet Olavi in prison because he had a relationship with Prince Olavi who was watching Desi. 1987, we initiated the Word newspaper. We wrote the law. We documented the history of the nation. You'll know me from that, but at the same time, I've been going through the devil's education system, college, starting in a profession. That's what the father told us to do. Get a trade and get a profession. And now this is our mandate now. This is what we have to do. We have to do the same thing that passed down to the next generation. They need to get a trade and a profession. And in 20 years, probably all of us in here right now won't be here anymore. Maybe a few of y'all. Maybe a few of y'all. I don't know what it is. But most of us not going to be here. But still, we have to do something for the next generation. So, what we presented last Parliament was we developed the site. We met with the mayor's office already. And they said, as long as you'll develop the site with something that meets the needs of the community, they are going to be supportive and they will transfer to us. And ultimately, that's what we want. Ultimately, that's what we want. We want the land owner, and we want a vision that we have for that site, and that's what we're building on. So I don't see no separation between any of the projects that we was just building on. The stabilization of schools is being done now, we gotta do it. The temporary prefab building, if that can pull us over to the next thing, that's great too. But ultimately, we have to do a new development, and so that's what we're building on. And just to give you a quick update where we are, we're retaining an architect and a legal consultant to navigate these different waters. And just so you know, we're at the beginning of the process, we're not at the end. We're at the very beginning. We're going to retain an architect, we already have a proposal, we're going to bring them in, and we're going to set up focus groups in the nation. So we can start getting feedback of what we want to see. Where's Hashim where's Hashim? I seen this guy's, he's Hashim. Hashim, I had dinner with the guy last night, and he was talking about, like his first baby born in the nation. His history goes back when he was a baby, his mother and father, close to the father. They have all the historic pictures of what the building looked like, the photos that were on the wall. We have to recreate all of that. Picture this, 20 years from now, none of us are here. But our youth could still go to that building, could still stand in the original structure, because we're going to maintain the existing building on the site, but it will be part of a bigger development, and we don't know 7 stories. Now that we have to get the land transferred, we can't build as of right, so we may build higher than 7 stories. It's going to be something we're going to work out with the architect, with the city. We're going to present it to the city with their approval. But just picture 20 years from now, still youth getting into that original space where the father stood back in 1967, with some of the historic photos still up on those walls, and learning about our history. Before I just came here today, I was just at a luncheon with 2 architects who have a firm in architecture and 2 architecture students. And I was telling them I have this meeting, I got to go to a hall. And they was asking who, and I was telling them, 5%, and they said, no, we don't know where to go. But this gave me history. Everyone is blown away by our history. So this is something that is our job to maintain. We're going to let our knowledge build here, going on into the future, after we're not here anymore. And that's what it's about. It's about us. What the father said was, if we ever meet him, all we got to do is come together. And this is our task right now. Task number 1, us come together, one idea, how we envision the site in the future, maintaining the existing building, doing a historic restoration, clean up the brick facade, have it look nice and clean, take the stuff off the side that wasn't there before, and then put all our history in that building, put some of the original photos back up. So we're going to start some focus groups, allow me to call for the education committee. And I know, understanding, we're definitely looking for you and allow to lead the education. Those of us in engineering, who in here is into architecture? We have any architecture in the nation? Any hands? Let's speak about that. Okay, good. So say it again. Good. Okay. Okay. What we need, who has a vision for what this building should look like in the future?
I do, I'm waiting for you to do that.
Okay, good. Good. Now, so this guy's going to be on, he would be in the focus group. I see him. This guy's going to be in the focus group for the design. And so, what we have to do, and then our focus groups is not just going to be us. We're also going to do bigger focus groups for the community. What does the community need? Does it need affordable housing? Does it need workforce development? Does it need jobs? And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. And as long as we do all of that, which is in our nature, we're builders, and that's what we do, that's what we're here to manifest in the community, then the mayor's office is going to be supportive. We'll get the mayor to come here to a parliament. We'll do our presentation, show them, we'll get their support, they will transfer the land, and then we'll be the great builders that we know we are.
Peace, God. Peace. G. So let me respond to what you're hearing. Let me talk about myself since everybody wants to talk about themselves, right? So as far as tap dancing is concerned, watch this. Son's doing this shit, my son's doing that, right? Now that we done, let's get to the point. Look, I'm only rubbing, I'm a big in the street, but I'm a retired stockbroker. Okay? What that means is I got $10,000 in gold, I got $10,000 in silver, I got $10,000 in Bitcoin, I got $10,000 in property. What I need y'all to understand is this. My nation is not going to be sold anything about this property. The school is okay the way it is now. The school is currently underutilized. I keep hearing conversation about how much the school is worth. The school is worth nothing about no money. Okay? There is a half of the school that's not being utilized. The majority of the days, the school is not being utilized. What I mean is that whatever y'all think I can do with the school, I can pay for it too. So my point is this. It's not about money. What it's about is the guy Prince ABG, the guy Najee, the black guy, the guy right here, going black. Where the other guys at? The guys that know me, the guy right here, the guy right here, the guy right here, where the guy Bilal at? That's my point. Where are you at, the guy Bilal right there? Where are you at, guy? Let me tell you clearly. This can be,
He's right here.
all right, there's gonna, okay, there's no more, God, listen. There's gonna be no more going to the city and seeing the mayor, period, without the cooperation of the guy standing right there, the guy sitting in the back, the guy back there standing against the wall, the guy sitting there with his legs crossed, the guy looking back right now. Without those and other guys, and I know the rest of the guy, without y'all sitting with the guy and building with the guy, it's not happening. I am a retired stockbroker. I'm a private wealth man. I own stock. What do I mean by this? It doesn't matter if I'm in Long Island. It doesn't matter what my email address is. What matters is this. Money and our school's different things. What the Godfather I did is over here. Your money is your personal business. You understand that? Those are two different things. The school is personally okay. I want y'all to pay attention to that. The school is underutilized. Keep going to the school is bringing up what the God said about somebody thinking that the school has value of property besides its current use. Everything with the school is already okay. That's why I told you to check your batch early. If you have financial problems, come talk to me. I help you out economically. The school is not for your money. Leave the school alone in regards to money. What is really needed, and I'll be done with, is that what people don't understand is simple. The school possesses the entity. In order for, and what you're being told is, and that you're this, and that the school is over here. I'll give you a better example. The school is inside the possession of the city, and you're going to get possession of the school. Okay, what you don't understand is this. There needs to be an entity that needs to be in receivership of the school. The physical being of the building needs to be transferred into a new entity. Who's in charge of that entity? That's what the school. Who's in charge of that? That's why I said, guys, the nation has to be an entity. We need to know who are these people. If something happens to those people, other people need to step up that are in the nation. That needs to happen. No, I know we're not stupid guys, but as long as that's what's happening, as long as that's happening, peace, that's it. As long as that's what's happening, as long as that's what's happening. Yes, I did.
Twice, black man. Somebody else speak.
Indeed.
Thank you. You see the behavior being displayed opposed to the bill that's being brought about in light of us building even on the level, right, intelligently, and even on the level of prefab as well as, listen, none of that can be successful if we
ourselves as the way that we communicate with ourselves. It's all right to come up here as we have been to express the creativity of ideas that we may have in regards of blossoming what we already had. Along those, we need to upgrade as the world is. We just can't stay the same. Because we stay the same, nothing will change.
True indeed.
You know, right? So this brother here that just got up here,
Imperial King,
Imperial King, my name is Hashim, peace. God, we cannot make outbursts. We're in front of the world. Right, God, so even if we have, this is what the God was saying about focus groups. We have to build ourselves. This is not about the building. This is not about the prefab. This is not about the structure or anything. This is about us as individuals, a part of a function, a nation, being able to function on the same accord in order to reach the goals that we need to reach as a nation in preparation for the generations that come behind us. That type of behavior won't get us nowhere. Listen, don't try to talk while I'm talking. I see your expression.
But you gotta stop doing that, God. No, God. You gotta stop doing that. Stop. I have to stop, man. I'm asking you to stop.
I'm gonna ask you to stop. Next time I'm putting you up out of here, son.
Yeah. So, real talk. So,
You gotta get up out of here.
Let him finish. I'm going to finish the bill. Down here.
right. So, I don't even, I deal with that way. I'm dealing with you as showing an example of, no, we ain't gonna do nothing. We got a bunch of that. Nothing ain't gonna happen. So you're not gonna bring a whole squadron with you every time you come to try to break down what the law has birthed. And this is the law's privacy here, all right? I don't know you personally. The way you summed it up and talking about is like you've done something so great around here. You understand? I don't know you, and brothers I've asked, they don't really know you. So you need to stay in your place, do knowledge. If you don't like what you hear, the doors are right there, black man. You understand what I'm saying? Because what we building about is broken development. And we gonna make this happen. And we ain't gonna let no one woman stop no show.
I'm not gonna be insulted, guys.
You insulted the God. You gotta pay attention. You insulted yourself. You insulted yourself. You must this is my bill. This is a part of my bill. I'm glad you jumped up there like you did. Because a lot of us, even myself, we have behaviors that need to be brushed up on. All right? And what I mean by that is that we can't just, on impulse, without thinking, right, jump out there on a situation that's being said or something that's being spoken up here, unless it's complete buffoonery. You gotta come from up here. There's no reason for you to be up there. Because from the beginning to the end, we have these are parliaments, it's about nation building. All right, so not to get into the projects again, this is about us building with each other, infrastructure wise. How we can come together. When the dog gave out his email, that was a problem. Because we don't see each other every day. You take each other's phone numbers, email, whatever way is comfortable for you to communicate with your brothers and sisters. We need to get more on that with that. Because of course, all of us have questions and concerns with regards of moving forward. I know none of us don't want to stay stuck. We've been semi-stuck for a while. A lot of us individually have been growing. And this is where law has put in us to become productive members of our nation as well as society. Okay, y'all? So, you coming up here and you got something that can add on to what the bills that's already being put out here, we welcome that. All of that other stuff, that's not what we're doing, y'all. it's not gonna work. And you know, your job will be, so by me not knowing you people around here, because I got my family here not knowing you, you could be a mole. You could be a mole that was planted here.
Listen, God.
I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you. And this is the purpose of us getting together like we should and communicating with each other like a family should. All right? So, yo, I'm coming out.
It's not gonna be no arguments in this disrespect me, God. Not
Son, move yourself, bro.
not the God.
We want to continue to build up today on any of the interruptions that happen. All right, family? Let's get to our business so we can move to be. All right, peace.
Come on, hey! Hey! Hey, yo, son, calm yourself, buddy. Hey, good feel. Wednesday. Donnie scored a lot.
I'm going out here.
This is the Black man, you gotta move yourself because there's so much interruption in here.
Are you going? You good?
Thank you. See, last parliament, I left 10 minutes later in a whole disruption. We on national TV. I said we are heard and seen everywhere. Was I joking? As soon as I cut the YouTube on, what I hear? The brother arguing with this brother. We on national TV. We on YouTube. Clowns like that. Sorry about my language, but that's buffoonery. We men. We act like men. We respect men. Intelligent respect intelligence. Unintelligent people don't respect intelligence. That's unintelligence. In your face. On national TV. We don't promote that. That's why I'm taking over the airwaves. Every Friday, missed it this Friday because I had to come up here. We're not having this. We God for real. We earth for real. Knowledge build. Know how to build, black man. Building is not being emotional. Hurl the truth at what? Ignorance. Brains. And knock it out. Hurl the truth at the brains of ignorance and knock it out. What do I mean by that? Take what you know that's truthful and destroy all falsehood around you. Starting with yourself. Be truthful to you and what you are about. We creating national agendas down south. We strive to make a law 5% nation government with positions so that the culture management team can control. Because they the government. They would make that happen. Whether you understand the nation or not. This is the headquarters. We can't act like no clowns and no fools here. The law was here to kick all y'all ass. I heard the older guards bill. I heard them. I hear how they talk to the youth. That would never have happened. I know we're getting older. God didn't teach us to be that way. God knows what the hell I'm talking about. I'm from the demon. I'm from where the warriors was born. And I'm a warrior. I'll be the first one to pick up that sword and try it. If you ain't right. If you right. Other than that, no. down somewhere and learn what's the duty of a civilized person. Teach he who is what? Savage. What? Civilization. And what else? Righteousness. The knowledge of himself. Science of everything. Love, peace, and happiness. Stop. If that's the science and that's our duty, then what is the duty? Duty is something you are held responsible for. Something you have to do. Something you just don't get paid for. So that means, for this duty, you have to have a special kind of love for the uncivilized. You just can't teach them when you want to. See, the uncivilized learn from us. Because we say we what? Civilized. We say we what? Righteous. We say we walk the path of Allah every day. Of course the unrighteous and the uncivilized is going to watch you. By all means, I ask them to watch me. Because that's a part of me teaching them. If I can teach one uncivilized person the science of himself or theyself, then I'm one step further to destroying the devil's mentality. I'm one step further to destroying the devil's world. Every time I civilize a mind, that is a devil dead. Think about that. You don't got to pick up near gun to destroy a devil. All you got to do is be God. And you'll destroy the devil right in front of his face. They'll start calling you along. Ask all the dudes at my job. They call me along. And me too. He's the God. He think anything happened. He snapped his finger at the door. Of course, because I move with organization. It's easy, simple to me, hard to go. You know? Same way with your life. We got unorganized individuals around us, and they raising their voice like they are organized. It kind of confused the public a little bit. Because from afar, it's hard to tell who is who. So I give this lecture about organization. In organization, brothers that's in leadership, please listen. Being a leader, not just mean you say something, you step out on it as well. And do not expect everybody to come with you. In leadership, you must take the first step. As hard as it may seem, in leadership, you cannot turn a blind eye to nothing. Because it could mean your what? Downfall. When you run an organization, all voices are heard. Even down to the janitor. Everybody's position is important. Even down to the baby. This is the most important. Because they are the stock of the nation. Without them, we have no nation. What's the next best thing? The black woman. Because she is the building block of this nation. Without her, we have no seeds. No seeds, no nation. Knowledge build. You must know how to build properly. You don't get a second chance to do it once. Once it's over, it's over. When you have the attention of the people leaders, keep it. Keep it. And drive it. Drive it. I spoke on the building of a law school. I told the guards at the Office of Culture Management, make sure nobody touched that at a law school, except improve it. The moment you touch it, the city will take it. Improve it, but do not touch it. Build around it. Build over top of it. But do not touch that motherfucker. Pardon my language.
You'd have thought before you said it.
I know. Do not touch it. Because once you touch it, the city gonna take it. Stop worrying about if they're gonna take the school. They were gonna take it, they'd have been took it. They gave it to you for a reason. They wanted this. Stop being afraid. They stuck their necks out for us. That Crockett ain't know us. He ain't know us. He stuck his neck out for us. Say, hey, get him to school. Maybe he might calm him down. Build on that. They were scared of the guard. That's why they gave him to school. Maybe he might calm him down a little bit. Too much compliments. You know what that was doing. You know how they talk. What is that, Clarence? I'll give him that school. Maybe he might really do something. Like he can give him 99 years. Why not? You say, God, you got 99 attributes, give him 99. Like, think about that, huh? Y'all can bear witness to it, teachers. Just don't realize. Probably know your lessons better than you do. Why you think he's so powerful? Because he listened to you. While you talking about it, he really doing it. You got your mouth capped. This dude building eon systems away, way up ahead of us. We got to catch up. Because we ain't paying attention to what we saying. We saying it, but we ain't paying attention to what we saying as a whole. Those that are studying will take this to heart. As a whole, we lost. We lost on a halftime study. When I was in the system, we used to run 120 drills. Every week, God's building from who's the original man to who. Couldn't get with it, dropped over. God's the whole site was on the boulevard like that. Yeah, it was dead ass. Guess what? DCOs called us gods too. And they knew our real names. It's because we was building. We had sisters in there calling themselves queens. We had the captains in there talking about, oh, that goes forward in them. It was funny, man. It was just funny, you know. Coming up as a newborn, I was just real fiery. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, and I love this culture so much. I changed my name in the system. I took this culture on as my DNA. I know nothing else other than this culture. And I will fight you like hell behind it. Anytime you disrespect me around the culture, I'm going to fight you like hell behind this. And if you disrespect one of my brothers or sisters in my face, I'm going to treat you like when you go on the streets. Trust me. Don't do it. Not in front of me. I love all my brothers. I love all my sisters. Equally. You're not going to do nothing to none of us in front of Lord Warface. That's great. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth.
Hey. Peace to the gods and earth.
Hey.
Next Sunday, Sunday, on Nimrod Day, I'm gonna be at the law school, Mecca, sanitizing the whole school, bleaching the walls and everything. Anybody want to come help? I appreciate you coming up next Sunday at 4 Born out. Peace. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Peace, God. Those that don't know me, I come in the divine name is Father Shabbat. Today's mathematics is knowledge. Given all being born to born. Now, there was a lot of stuff, like always at these parliaments, that go on. I heard a lot of my brothers speak and talk about certain things. Some of y'all was talking, some of y'all, let me tell you, first thing, yelling don't mean you getting your point across. All right? You can yell all day, but if somebody don't want to listen to you, they're not going to listen. You know what I'm saying? And I went out in the hallway a few minutes ago, and one of my older than brothers, one of my mentors, he's sitting right back there, God Supreme. He said something to me again that him and Jakeem Mathematics told me years ago when I was a little young. And you know what he said just now to me in the hallway? I seen was there too, just now. And Sahim. He told me, I'm not doing it no more. He said, we did it already. Half of my peers is gone, and he's right exactly. If you look around him, how many firstborns is left? How many first fruits is left? You know what I'm saying? Y'all get up here and argue about, oh, this one is doing this one is doing that. The main thing and the main purpose for this nation to grow and to develop, I'm gonna say it nice and loud. All minds must be one. True indeed. Fact. There's only one God, and his proper name is